We've caught Montez March in the middle of a Frisbee game with Lacey Law, Joshua Bosniak, with Shay Stoke. I ran into President Brown. This is Maggie Lane with the Red Hawk Reporter. Yesterday, I took a stroll around campus and asked some people about the 2012 elections and their opinions and how they feel. We got a lot of interesting answers from a few interesting people. Here's what they had to say.
I would say probably my mother's beliefs on most of the things, and just growing up and seeing the way that she has taught us how to be a better person.
I'm voting Libertarian because I agree with them on most of my political philosophy, to a much larger degree than I agree with either Republican or Democrat.
Basically, people that are for what I'm for. So like Barack Obama for gay marriage all day long, because I think everybody has a right to do what they feel. Love is love regardless of who it's with.
I would like to see someone who is not quite a career politician, let's say. I don't want to elect some career politicians to office. I want to elect public servants.
Someone that I think is going to be great for our nation, who stands up for what they believe in and won't back down from the fight.
I'm very interested in their position on education, how they intend to reform the education system of this country to be more competitive internationally. I'm interested in their positions on the economy, about tax reform and financial system reform. I'm also interested in their health insurance position, but to a lesser degree. And I think the last most important thing for me would be their position on foreign issues, especially the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Well, I feel like his point of view is headed in the right direction. He has flaws, but I feel like all in all, he knows where he wants to see things go.
And I don't like that Mitt Romney makes so much money and all he cares about is jobs. Like, I think he's going to try to pay his way into the White House instead of working his way into it. Because he has a lot of money and a lot of companies which can open a lot of jobs, and Barack Obama doesn't have that same thing going for himself. So I don't like that Barack Obama is like not all about economy and making jobs.
I don't really want to see Obama in there again. I feel like he's run this economy and made it work it went from bad to worse, in my opinion.
I'm supporting and voting for the Libertarian candidate, Gary Johnson.
Don't vote for either one of them. Vote for the other party.
I feel that neither the Republican nor the Democratic platforms address the issues that are important to me. I feel that they do not take the stances that I can support, and I feel that their outlook and positions on American politics are very different from mine.
You just have to look at your values and just see who has the most, who's on your side the most, and just go about it. That's how I went about it.
Well, I think it's important that everybody should vote, because every vote does count. So whether win or lose with your candidate, it is important to know what you stand for.
Well, I think there's great information out there, probably more than we've ever had in a presidential election, and both candidates have. I've looked at both plans on candidates' websites, and if that doesn't help you determine where you are, I don't know what would.
I would like to say to everyone, I understand how divisive and how demoralizing and how disillusioning the whole political process can be in this country, but I urge you to go and vote, and to go and vote your conscience. If you feel that, if you care about the direction that this country is heading, by all means, go out and vote and let that voice be heard. You only waste your vote if you don't vote at all. Vote Republican, vote Democrat, vote third party, vote socialist, I don't care. Go and vote, because this is a democracy, and if it's going to succeed, we can't do it without you.
I found some people who said that they weren't going to vote, and because they felt like their vote was worthless or it didn't count, or because politics is so lost that, you know, they're just going to sit back and let happen whatever happens. And I was just going to ask Dr. Brown about his feelings of the apathy of the young students towards voting on campus. He just let me know that we had some students registered to vote here on campus.
That's right. We were required by the federal government to have a voter registration program, and so we had a table set up. Actually, we moved it into basically the 3 different academic buildings, and we had I want to say 160. I can't remember precisely how many registered, but it was much better than the last presidential election 4 years ago. We had more this year, so that's a good sign. But I think you're right. Generally, we have 1,100 students, and so
Right.
Why would we only have 100 plus register? I don't understand it either.
Will there be other stations set up for being able to register to vote, or is that already passed?
Yeah, it's too late to register now. You have to register. I think it's 3 weeks before. That's the deadline. 3 weeks before the election, or something like that.
As a college president, can you tell our students what the importance of a college student vote for a presidential election is?
Yeah. Well, I think this election in particular is one that's going to shape the country. There's a very clear choice, and I'm not necessarily going to espouse a political view, but I do think there's 2 sides very clearly defined this time, and I think students ought to be. They're going to have to live in this situation, this economy going forward. They really ought to have a voice in determining which direction the nation goes, and I would hope that they were actively involved in that process, not just voting, but actually working for a candidate. So I would hope that we had more activity, and I wish there was a way to develop that.
Well, there you go, guys. It's our college president assuring us that the only wasted vote is the one that's not used.
There you go.